Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle a huge question, one that I think is on a lot of our minds as we get a little older. How do we keep our energy up and our bodies feeling strong? It can feel like this super complicated puzzle, but the best part is, science has actually given us all the key pieces. We just have to know how to put them together. So let's dive in.
I mean, come on, we've all been there, right? That mid-afternoon slump hits, and you just get this feeling that your energy tank is not what it used to be. It can be so frustrating. But here's the good news I want you to hear today. It is not inevitable. The key to recharging your batteries is probably a lot closer than you think.
That's right. Well, a cup of coffee gives you that temporary jolt, the kind of steady, all-day energy we're really looking for. That comes from our food. It all comes down to how our bodies create and use fuel on a deep cellular level. So let's start with the absolute basics. How does your body actually turn that meal you ate into the energy you need to, well, live your life? The answer is all about one tiny but incredibly powerful molecule.
Meet ATP. Seriously, think of this stuff as the actual energy currency for every single cell in your body. Every movement you make, every thought you have, every single heartbeat, it's all paid for with ATP. So having plenty of it is like having a wallet that's just full of energy. The main thing to get here is this. The more efficiently your body can make this stuff, the more energy you're going to have. Simple as that.
Okay, so to create that precious ATP, your body has a choice to make. It can burn one of two main types of fuel from your diet. And understanding this choice, this is really the first big step to unlocking more consistent, sustainable energy.
On one hand, you've got carbohydrates, and on the other, you have fats. Now, both of them can be turned into ATP for sure. But, and this is a big but, they do it in really different ways, and they have totally different impacts on your energy, your health, and even your mood. So which fuel is better? For decades, right, the old wisdom was to avoid fat and just load up on carbs. But as we're about to see, when you actually look at the science, it tells a very different and frankly, a much more interesting story about which fuel source is the truly efficient one.
Let's just start with fat. 1 single gram of fat provides a whopping 9 kilocalories of energy. Just lock that number in your head for a second, because when we compare it to carbs, you're going to see why this is such a huge deal.
Now look at this. Carbohydrates, they only give you 4 kilocalories per gram. That is less than half the energy of fat. This isn't just a small difference. We're talking about a massive gap in energy density. Fats are, by a long shot, the most concentrated energy source we can eat.
This chart, right here, really gets to the heart of why fats are such a powerhouse fuel. Just look at the bottom line, the ATP yield. A single molecule of fat can generate over 100 of those ATP energy coins we talked about. A glucose molecule from carbs, it only gets you about 32. It's not even close. Plus, fats are stored without water, making them this incredibly compact and efficient way for our bodies to save up energy for later.
Okay, but this isn't just a biochemistry lesson, right? Who cares about the numbers? This choice to fuel has a direct, real-world impact on how you feel every single day. Your energy, your hunger, all of it. So let's look at what happens when your body is running mostly on carbs.
I bet this cycle looks familiar to a lot of you. It all starts when you eat a meal that's high in refined carbs, like bread or pasta. Your blood sugar spikes way up. Your body then releases insulin to deal with all that sugar. But what goes up must come down, and that often leads to a massive blood sugar crash, which is exactly what leaves you feeling tired, foggy, and, you guessed it, craving more carbs.
This really is the perfect way to describe it, an energy roller coaster. When you rely on carbs, you're just stuck on this ride of highs and lows all day. In contrast, healthy fats, I'm talking about things like avocado, nuts, olive oil, they provide the steady, stable release of energy. This helps you get off that roller coaster, avoid the crashes, and feel full and energized for so much longer.
Okay, let's shift gears for a minute, because there's another really critical piece to this whole aging well puzzle, and that is maintaining our muscle. Having great energy is one thing, but we also need the strength and mobility to actually use that energy.
There's a medical term for this age-related muscle loss. It's called sarcopenia. And yeah, it's a natural part of aging. But here's the good news. We have a ton of control over it through our diet and our activity. And fighting back against sarcopenia is absolutely crucial for staying independent and just having a great quality of life as we get older.
So, how do we fight back? Well, the research is crystal clear. The biggest weapon we have is protein, and specifically getting enough protein at each meal. That 25 to 30 gram target, that really seems to be the magic number for sending a powerful signal to your body to say, hey, build and maintain this muscle.
But check this out, because this is a fascinating and really crucial detail. For older adults, some research shows that eating a lot of refined carbs along with your protein can actually get in the way of that muscle-building process. This suggests that a diet lower in those refined carbs and higher in protein and healthy fats isn't just better for your energy, it's also better for keeping you strong.
So we've talked about what to eat, but there's one more piece to this puzzle we have to talk about, and that is when you eat. It turns out your body's own internal clock plays a surprisingly huge role in your metabolism.
You see, your body isn't just some simple furnace that burns calories at the same rate all day long. Nope, it operates on a really strict 24-hour schedule. We call it the circadian rhythm. And this internal clock directs so many processes in your body, including, and this is what new research is showing, how efficiently you metabolize fat.
So, when we eat at odd hours, especially late at night, we're basically throwing a wrench into this beautifully tuned system. It's like asking your body to go run a marathon when it's trying to power down for sleep. And this kind of misalignment is being linked to a higher risk of all sorts of metabolic problems.
So the big takeaway here is that trying to line up your meal times with your body's natural clock, mostly eating during daylight hours and trying to avoid those late-night meals, can be a super powerful tool for supporting a healthy metabolism as you age.
Wow. Okay. We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? From the tiny little ATP molecules all the way up to the big picture of our body's daily rhythms. So let's bring it all home with a few simple, actionable takeaways you can start using today. Here they are, the 3 keys. First, make protein a priority at every single meal to fight off that muscle loss. Second, choose your fuel wisely. Go for healthy fats and protein to get that steady, all-day energy instead of riding that crazy carb roller coaster. And finally, number 3, respect your body's clock. Try to eat in sync with your natural rhythms.
Because at the end of the day, every meal is a choice. It's a choice to fuel your body with the high-quality, efficient energy it really needs to thrive. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Now, you get to decide. What fuel will you choose?